So how the 3 months at home been during this entire lockdown period?
So honestly, I was a bit frustrated initially because I am someone who loves going out and I'm out almost every day. And it's the first time in my life that I haven't stepped out of my house in 3 months. So I was getting a bit anxious at first, but now I think I'm okay. And I think, we as people, we don't really have a right to complain because there are people with real problems. We can't just sit here and say that we're bored and, make it a big issue because there are people who are walking miles to get to their families and who are actually struggling for basic things like food and shelter. So I think that we've been very lucky. And yeah, I've been using this time to work on myself, to read a lot of stuff, to watch a lot of stuff. So it's been great. Yeah, it's been great.
Uh, how do you see the life of Bulbul? And if you could explain the character arc to us.
So I was told on the very first day of shoot that you would be playing off the workshops. In fact, that you would be playing two completely different personalities as Bulbul. It's initially in the film she's this person who's very underconfident, a person who um, is always looking for direction. Anvita used to always compare her to a diamond. A diamond doesn't have a light of its own, and similarly, this girl does not have any emotion of her own. If the other person wants her to be happy, she'll be happy. If you want her to be sad, she'll be sad. So she's this person. But there comes a point in her life where she says, enough is enough, and now I'm gonna not let anybody lead my life and make my own decisions and do my own thing and love myself. So so there's this whole transformation in the character, and she becomes this person who's very powerful, who's very courageous, who's comfortable in her own skin, who probably doesn't even need a soulmate and is her own soulmate, who is flawed but has made peace with her flaws. So this transition was, it was definitely challenging for me to play this first, and but we luckily did a lot of workshops for it. And I, as a person, have always felt that I'm more close to the one that's innocent and not to the one that's not to the transformed Bulbul. But yeah, we had to work really hard to understand her mindset and understand her physicality. So that was it.
And Rahul was in an interview with us. He told us that you had workshops with Anvita and Atul Mongia. So I would want to know what essentially formed these workshops. Was it more about the characters, or did it have more to understand the nuances of the time period, or the era it was set in?
So we did I did a 2 months workshop. It was a 9 days workshop with Atul Mungia, and before that, I think I spent a lot of time with Anvita trying to understand this girl. We would sit and try and make backstories for her, and try and look at the other people that are there in her life. What's her relationship with Satya is? What's her relationship with her husband is, or his twin brother is, or with Vinodini is. So that's what we kind of used to just sit and discuss and not like really do the scenes. And Anvita wanted me to know this girl, know this person, know her world really well, even before getting into the workshops with other actors, because in those workshops she wanted me to focus on her relationship with other characters. So that's what we worked on. And in Atul sir's workshop, as I just mentioned, it was difficult for me to understand 25-year-old's mindset. We worked specifically on that. Um, I was given this very strange exercise. I was asked to focus on my breath and disconnect from the outside world and focus only on myself, which initially I thought it won't help, but I did it for 3 months straight, and it did. I could see the difference while performing. And I did workshops with Avinash for good 3 weeks, because we've done a film before called Leila Majnu, and we had to unlearn whatever we've done with Leila Majnu and form a new relationship here between Satya and Bulbul, and understand how they feel about each other throughout the film. And also Anvita is a director who does not believe in rehearsing for the scenes, and we hardly even touched the script even during the shoot. I mean, we just had one reading session with the entire cast, and post that she would just give us situations and ask us to react to those situations as our characters. So when you do that continuously for 2 months, you do, it gets to you. I mean, you do understand how your character will talk or walk or think or react to situations. So that all this helped.
And why do you think that Binodini was spared from Bulbul's wrath despite of her being an enabler?
Because because she decides to make peace with her life. I remember having this conversation with Anvita, at this after reading the script, and she explained it to me honestly. She said that Bulbul is a girl who finds a way to deal with all this, finds a way to deal with the system, and and she finds her strength in that. But Binodini is the person who gets stuck with it. She's the person who she's a more tragic character than Bulbul. I mean, Bulbul might be physically hurt, but she's the one who's mentally living this torture for years and years. And she's this person. There's this very beautiful scene between her and Bulbul where she's trying to, where she बोलती है वो उसको कि यार चुप रहना, ये हो जाता है, बोलते हैं पति मिलेगा, गहना मिलेगा, इज्जत मिलेगी, but चुप रहना. So that's when you realize that as a kid maybe उसको लोगों ने बोला था कि ये सब होगा, and you just have to be quiet and deal with it and deal with everything, and which is what shows that she just, instead of becoming wise, she became a shrewd person, and she was just living by the day, and she was like, acha main kaise one up hu Bulbul se. And maybe we've shown how Satya was important to Bulbul. Maybe for her that person was Indranil, who was Bulbul's husband. So that's why you see that there's this jealousy in her, and that's why she's always trying to be little Bulbul, and yeah, she just gets stuck in that system, and she just gets stuck there, and which is why you can say that Bulbul was physically hurt, and but the person who's actually hurt physically and mentally is Binodini.
And what creative inputs did Anushka have as a producer?
So she was there for 5 days for the shoot, and as a producer, I don't know, she spoke to me as an actor, and she said that there are we as actors take a lot of pressure sometimes. Jesse, actor, director, the minute he says action, we are like, okay, we have to act and deliver the scene and do it this way or that way. But you have to realize but you have to know that you can take your time, and because the DOP takes his time to set the camera or set the lights, and the art department takes its time to set everything, and the director takes his own time. And as an actor, it's your responsibility to take time and to deliver a scene or deliver a performance only when you're ready. So don't ever be afraid of asking for that extra time. If you're not ready, just tell them that you're not ready, and it's okay, because people are gonna be seeing the story through your eyes, and if you fake it, they'll get to know. So that was the best piece of advice that I've got from anybody, and yeah, it really helped.
Everyone has their own shares of highs and lows. That's pretty natural and pretty human for no one to encounter that. I want to know, how do you deal with the low phase in your life?
I try and keep myself busy. Honestly, there have been days in my life, especially post the release of my second film, Laila Majnu, there were days where I was at home with no work, with no friends, with no family, and there were days where I was like feeling absolutely useless, and I was feeling things like that. I'm not making use of my time, but I think I decided to just keep myself busy, because that's the only way to deal with it. I decided to do a lot of workshops. I decided to cook for myself. I decided to stay in touch with my family and my friends, my real friends. So this is something that just keeps me going on. I think you have to trust yourself. You have to first love yourself, and make sure that you take out time for the ones who love you. So that is something that I do when I feel low. I try and talk to people who love me and who I love.
And now that people are starting to churn out content within the confines of their homes, be it short films or videos or songs, people are making content from their homes, from the comfort of their homes. So do you think that this is going to be the new normal, or this is how things gonna unfold here on?
No, this is not going to be the new normal. I think people are just doing it these days because everything else is shut and there's no other way to do it. But I think once everything gets back to normal, people will start shooting the way they were shooting before the pandemic. And yeah, people, I mean, the only thing that they'll be careful about is the hygiene. And I think that people should take care of it anyway. But I think the minute everything goes back to normal, we will, start shooting in a normal way, and that's how it should be done. Because you can shoot for TVCs in such conditions. You can shoot for TV shows, but you can't shoot a film where you can't do an action sequence, for example, in your house, and you can't do scenes where you need a lot of people, in such situations. So I think people will just wait it out and see how things work. And once everything goes back to normal, they'll start shooting the same way. I think they'll just make sure that they call less number of people and only as many people as required. And I think that's the only thing that's going to change. Rest everything will be the same.
Now, people have also returned to their work. Shoots are slowly, cropping up in few parts of the country. So, I would want to know if you would like to go to the set immediately, or you would wait for things to, settle down and, then start up slowly.
I think I'm going to wait for the pandemic to settle down because, I haven't stepped out in 3 months, and, I don't want this time to, go in complete waste. And I think health comes first. And if you're healthy, if you're active, then only you can work well. So I think I would like to wait and wait for things to get better, wait for the pandemic to get over, and then get back to work. Yeah, I don't think I would be okay to shoot right now in such conditions, considering the number of cases. They're going up every day, especially in Bombay. Every day we get more than 20,000 cases. So I think it's just not safe for me or for anybody else. I don't want to be the cause of, I don't want to spread this virus to other people. So I think it's wiser to stay at home and wait it out.